Bible says that when the seventh seal is opened, heaven itself falls silent. Why? What's about to happen that even angels stop speaking? Before that silence, there was sound. A sound like 1,000 waterfalls colliding in the heart of eternity. Voices, thunder, songs older than time itself. And at the center of it all, a throne. Not just any throne, but the throne. The pulse of creation beats from it. Light folds around it like breathing fire. From that throne flows the very idea of existence. Every heartbeat, every galaxy, every whisper of life. John, exiled, broken, human, was lifted to see what no mortal had ever seen. In Revelation chapter 4, he describes it the only way human language allows. Flashes of lightning, peals of thunder, emerald rainbows circling fire. Creatures beyond imagination cry holy without ceasing. Not because they're programmed to, but because every glance reveals something new, something infinite, something words collapse under. And in the right hand of the one seated upon the throne, a scroll, sealed 7 times over. The universe holds its breath, because this isn't just any document. It's destiny itself, the map of God's justice and redemption, the untold story of how evil ends and eternity begins. But it's sealed so tightly that not even the angels dare touch it. John weeps, not out of curiosity, but out of ache. He sees a world filled with pain, injustice, blood, unanswered prayers, and the scroll, the answer, remains locked. He cries because he knows if no one can open it, then the story of redemption stays unfinished. History remains broken. And then a voice that shakes the air of heaven itself.
Dare not weep. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah has triumphed.
The Lion, the Conqueror, the King. John turns, expecting a figure of might, a blazing warrior, a crowned ruler, eyes of flame. But what he sees stops time. A lamb, small, wounded, standing as though it had been slain. The power of God revealed not through domination, but through sacrifice. The Lamb walks toward the throne, and every sound in heaven shifts. The elders fall down. The living creatures lower their crowns. Harps are lifted, and bowls of incense rise like prayers of saints through centuries of pain. The Lamb takes the scroll. He doesn't seize it. He receives it, as one who has earned the right through blood and love. And in that moment, all of heaven erupts. 10,000 times 10,000 voices singing.
Worthy is the Lamb who was slain,
to receive power and riches,
and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing.
This is the center of everything, the heartbeat of Revelation. The King is a lamb, the victor is the wounded. The one worthy to unlock the destiny of creation is the one who laid his life down for it. But as the song of heaven thunders, something shifts. The atmosphere thickens. Even the angels seem to brace, because what happens next will tear open the very fabric of time itself. The scroll trembles in his hands. The first seal gleams under celestial light. The world below, unaware, continues spinning, eating, building, sinning, loving, killing. But in heaven, silence falls for just a breath. The Lamb looks upon the scroll, and the first seal breaks. The first seal breaks, and sound returns to heaven like thunder finding its voice again. One of the living creatures speaks, a voice like rolling storm clouds. Come. And John looks. Through that open space between eternity and earth, he sees movement, a shimmer, a figure on a white horse. Its rider holds a bow. A crown is given to him, not taken, but given, and he rides out, conquering and to conquer. He is brilliance and deception fused together. Peace on the surface, conquest beneath. The calm before humanity's self-made storm. Some call him victory. Some call him empire. Some whisper his name in the shadows of prophecy, a figure that wears righteousness like disguise, a promise of peace that bursts control. His horse gallops across history, the rise of kings, nations, revolutions, lies sold as light. And as he rides, the sound of the second seal begins to crack. Another creature speaks.
Come.
And a red horse bursts forth. Its rider is given a great sword, power, to take peace from the earth. The first brought conquest. This one brings conflict, war, human blood crying from soil, cities burning, sons buried, lovers holding what's left. This isn't punishment from heaven. This is humanity left to its own hunger for dominance. One rider gives the illusion of power, the next reveals its cost. And as the red horse fades into the horizon of battle, another voice calls,
Come.
The third seal breaks, a black horse. Its rider holds a pair of scales. Famine, not just empty stomachs, but imbalance. Bread priced like gold, oil and wine reserved for the wealthy, while the poor collapse in dust. This isn't only hunger, it's the world's systems exposed. Greed disguised as order. Economies trembling under the weight of injustice. And somewhere in the midst of that scarcity, a whisper.
Do not harm the oil and the wine.
Even in judgment, mercy flickers. The world trembles, but grace still leaves a trace. Then, the fourth seal, and the last of the horsemen rides. A pale horse, colorless, ghostly, the hue of death itself. Its rider's name, Death. And Hades follows close behind. No crown, no glory, just the cold inevitability of consequence. He rides through ages, pestilence, plague, collapse, decay. Empires crumble, kings turn to dust, the proud fall silent, and yet even he is given authority, not absolute power. Given, measured. Even death is on a leash held by heaven. And through the echo of hooves fading into eternity, the vision shifts again. The world beneath trembles. The Lamb's eyes, filled with both sorrow and purpose, look toward the next seal. Heaven waits. The first four seals have unleashed what was always within mankind. Conquest, war, greed, death. The reflection of our own heart projected onto the pages of prophecy. But what comes next is not about kingdoms or famine or plague. It's about souls, about those who cried out and were never heard, about justice that never came until now. And as the last echo of the fourth horse fades, the Lamb breaks the fifth seal. The fifth seal breaks. No horse this time. No sound of hooves. Just stillness and sorrow. John sees beneath the altar, the place where prayers and sacrifices rise before God. And there, souls, not vague, not forgotten. Souls of those who had been slain for the word of God, for the truth they refused to silence. They cry out, not with rebellion, but with ache.
How long, O Lord? How long until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth?
It's not vengeance. It's longing for justice, for wrongs to finally be made right, for every innocent cry, every silent martyr, every name history erased, to be remembered by the one who forgets nothing. And they are given white robes, robes of completion, a promise of rest. And they are told and to wait just a little longer until the number of their brothers and sisters, those who would still suffer, is complete. Heaven holds its breath again because mercy, even now, is still extending time. Grace still running into the cracks of human rebellion. But the sixth seal changes everything. When the Lamb opens it, creation itself screams. There is a great earthquake, not just shaking the ground, but splitting reality's foundation. The sun turns black, as though mourning. The moon bleeds red, like the memory of every sin written across the sky. The stars fall, not one or two, but showers of them, cascading through eternity like tears of burning light. The heavens themselves roll up like a scroll. The very thing the seals once bound, now reflected in the sky. Every mountain, every island, Every fortress of pride is moved from its place. Kings hide, the mighty tremble. The rich and the rulers, the generals, the powerful. They all run to the caves, to the rocks, crying,
Fall on us! Hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb.
the wrath of the Lamb. The phrase itself shakes the soul because wrath from a lamb sounds like contradiction, but it's not anger for destruction. It's love that has burned too long without response. The wrath of the Lamb is not cruelty, it's holiness that will no longer coexist with cruelty. The powerful once ignored the weak. Now they beg to be unseen. The earth once laughed at heaven. Now it hides from its light. And John watches the world tremble, not from rage but revelation. Every illusion of control, gone. Every mask stripped away. Every heart exposed before the one who sees. And as dust and silence settle over the vision, a single question rises. The great day of his wrath has come, and who shall be able to stand? The Lamb pauses. Heaven stands still again, because before the seventh seal breaks, something must happen, a sealing of its own. 4 angels hold back the winds, restraining judgment until the servants of God are marked, not with fame, not with might, but with belonging. Those who are his, sealed, protected, known. A multitude so vast John cannot count, from every tribe, every tongue, every nation, clothed in white, crying,
Salvation belongs to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb.
They came out of great tribulation, not untouched but transformed, not unscarred but redeemed, tears wiped away, hunger ended. The Lamb becomes their shepherd, and once that number is complete, once every name that was ever meant to be redeemed is sealed, heaven falls silent again. Because now the 7th seal waits, and it is unlike all the others. No thunder, no horse, no cry, only stillness. The kind that holds eternity in its breath. The Lamb looks upon it, and heaven, all of heaven, prepares for silence. The 7th seal breaks, and then nothing. No sound, no thunder, no song. Only stillness, so complete that it humbles the infinite. For half an hour, in heaven's measure of time, not a single voice speaks, no angel moves, no creature cries, Holy! Even the light seems to hold its own breath, because what happens next can't be rushed. This silence is an absence, it's anticipation, it's the pause between creation's heartbeat, the still moment before divine judgment becomes reality. Every prayer ever whispered now echoes through that silence. Every tear ever shed in faith now weighs in the balance. The martyrs who cried, How long? Their voices now hang suspended, about to be answered. Heaven waits, not in fear, but in awe. Because the scroll is open, the story of redemption has been read, and now the fullness of God's plan stands on the edge of becoming. Then John sees 7 angels standing before God, each given a trumpet. Another angel approaches the altar, holding a golden censer filled with the prayers of the saints. He adds incense, divine fire mingling with human cries. And in the silence, those prayers rise, like light through smoke, like hope through suffering. Then the angel takes the censer, fills it with fire from the altar, and casts it down to the earth, and the silence ends. Thunder, lightning, voices, an earthquake that seems to shake both worlds at once. It's not chaos, it's convergence. Heaven and earth colliding in justice, in mercy, in fulfillment. The silence was the inhale. This is the exhale. And yet, even as sound returns, something in that stillness lingers, something eternal. Because in that half hour of holy quiet, heaven revealed something deeper than words could ever say. That before God acts, he listens. Before judgment, he remembers. Before the trumpets sound and the earth trembles again, heaven honors every cry that ever rose from the dust. The silence was not empty. It was full, heavy with meaning, thick with presence. It was heaven saying, this matters. You mattered. And the Lamb, once slain, now standing, watches it all, not distant, not detached, but as the very center of it, the one through whom all things were made, and through whom all things will be made new. Because the story of the seven seals isn't just about judgment, it's about revelation, about the truth behind everything we see, that love has always been at war with darkness, and that love will be the last one standing. Every seal that broke was not a sign of despair, but unveiling. Each horseman, a mirror. Each cry, a call. Each quake, a reminder that this world, in all its noise, is not final. The Lamb broke the seals not to destroy, but to redeem what was lost, to open what was closed, to finish what began before the foundations of time. And that final silence, that strange, haunting pause, was heaven's heartbeat aligning with ours, an eternal inhale before the dawn of everything new. Because beyond the seals come the trumpets, beyond the silence, the song of restoration, beyond wrath, renewal. But that's another story. For now, all that remains is silence, the kind that hums with presence, the kind that feels like standing at the edge of eternity, the kind that whispers, "It is beginning." And that silence still echoes. And in the stillness after the seventh seal, the universe does not rest. It waits. Every star holds its breath. Every angel stills its wings. Even time dares not move. The silence is not empty. It lives, heavy, trembling, sacred. The pause between the last heartbeat of the old world and the first breath of the new. For even silence is not peace. It is the weight of what's coming. The hush before the voice of God returns to speak again. And soon, it will. When the stillness shatters, trumpets will rise, and heaven, for the first time since the dawn, will cry out through judgment and fire. The earth will answer, and what was hidden will no longer hide. So stay close. The silence is only the beginning of the sound. Subscribe and step with us into the next chapter. The seven trumpets, when heaven sounds the alarms of judgment. Until then, let the silence speak.